You're defending your smashes like you have a hole in your racket and a hole in your body. Well, no more, because in this video, we're gonna break down just exactly to have the perfect smash defense so you become invincible with Olympian Toby Ng. What is our first step that we need to learn to achieve this?
Okay, so positioning is going to be the most important thing. So when you want to position yourself, let's demo here. It's going to depend on where the lift is, right? Am I on the cross? Or am I on the straight? The general rule to follow, especially on a straight, is to stand more or less where the person is smashing, maybe up to a certain limit, right? If it's in the corner, then I'm probably gonna stop here. I'm not gonna stand all the way here. However, if the smash is to the middle, then I'll be over here. A little bit, it will change, right? What is important is your partner has to fill in that space, right? So we're partners, right? If I move a little bit over here, then I would expect you to cover a little bit more.
Okay, so our first step is just our positioning on the court. Why is this important? What happens if we do it, and what happens if we don't do it?
If you don't do it, then you'll find you'll have to reach more to defend, which is gonna make it a lot harder, because the closer the smash is to your racket, the greater the chance you'll get it back.
Okay, all right.
Let's add one more concept, and then what we will do is show you kind of how to defend smashes in the most common spots.
Okay, sounds good.
There's different ways to swing, right? We can try and actually actively hit it back. We can use our wrist, right? Or we can actually use a little bit more of our elbow. If we use our elbow, lock the wrist down, right? We actually have a greater lever arm. It's actually easier to get power from this kind of swing. So if you're having a little bit of trouble just using the wrist for power, try to lock it down and then use a little bit more of the elbow. And then the last thing is just the stance. We would like to have a little bit of space to be able to hit the right hip because I'm right-handed. So that would mean the left foot is slightly forward.
Okay. For step one, I mean, the sum of all of this, what the goal is, again, is just to get us into stable positions to hit. Yeah. Okay. All right. Our next few steps is showing how it works in the different positions, right?
Yes.
So step two and scenario one is straight down the line.
Smash down the alley.
Okay, on this right side. The alley, is that what it's called?
That's what I call it. Tram lines, whatever you want to call it.
Am I doing it right?
I would have tried to move a little bit, especially on the straight smash. You want to try and hit the shuttle still kind of between your legs. So that means you still have to move a bit. It might be closer to your right leg, but this is a lot more comfortable.
Okay, so my mistake I was making is I was extending too much still. I wasn't stepping into the shot enough.
Yeah, so let's try it again. And then if it does go a little far, try and step out and then see if you can drive it straight down the line.
Sounds good.
Nice. Nice.
Oh, so easy. That's pretty easy. I'm using no strength. I'm in position. I feel like I could do a few in a row. Badminton's easy, guys. Scenario two.
Okay, so now I'm gonna smash it toward the middle, right?
Yeah, what happens when they smash over here? So I'm standing over here.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
So when it comes to this side, because you're left foot forward, it's a little bit awkward, but you have room here. However, it's actually not that bad, because then if you want to cross, you can actually turn, and then you can kind of just... So the most important thing is you have to not swing too early.
So when people smash over here, it is just more natural to hit cross.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's something important if you're attacking to also know. If you're gonna smash here, you should get more ready for the cross. Okay, so how do we do this?
So I'll smash to that area, just try and go cross.
Now what I'm imagining is, I'm staying in position, but instead of stepping in, I'm just turning my body and staying in position. Okay, let's try it.
Okay, so that was too early.
That was too early.
Yeah, so you hit too early because it cut right through the middle. So you need to wait a little bit longer so you can get the angle wider.
Okay, I'll try. So you want me to wait longer? Okay, I'll try.
Oh, no, too early, too early. Yes. Better.
It's odd. it's a little bit odd because everything we talked about so far, I've been feeling like I want to be super imbalanced. But making it a little bit later feels like I'm slightly more off balance than usual.
Yeah, because it's a bit of an uncomfortable feeling, which is why people kind of, especially if they're nervous, they want to hit it early and it'll always come back, or at worst, it goes to the front court.
Right.
So you have to really like tell yourself to wait a little bit longer, right? Almost kind of beside you, and then you can get that angle.
Okay, so the most important thing is that you have to make sure your shot quality is far enough. And to achieve that, you have to let it far enough.
Yeah, so this is more important to get it wider than it is to hit it hard.
Yes.
But through the middle.
Okay, makes sense. All right, so let's move on to scenario number 3. This will be similar to down the line.
Except you have even more time.
Yeah, but this one's easier to have more time because I'm already open on this side, right?
Well, because you can now hit it out, right? It would
Okay.
have been out on the line, but you have cross court now.
Okay, well, let's give it a try.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this feels quite natural.
Yeah, this one is usually the easier one.
This is the easier one to hit cross. It's actually quite hard to bring it back straight.
Yeah, so this kind of goes both ways, right? If you're smashing down the middle here on as offense on the other side, then you should expect it to go cross. If you don't want to go cross, then probably smash down the alley.
Right. Now, our last scenario, which is straight.
Yeah, so the thing we'll teach you, which is different from the other side, on this side, is we actually will teach you how to cross. So
Okay.
our goal is, if they smash it down the alley, how do you hit a cross-court drive?
Oh,
Because this is actually quite useful for a lot of people, like they'll wait because it's their forehand, so this is quite dangerous.
Right.
So if you hit anything here and it's a bit of a reach, you
but it's not
actually are
good to
okay.
do on that side because,
That side's usually, yeah, that's
They'll just
not as
kill
good.
it.
And this is much, much harder.
okay, let's try it. Oh. I actually feel like this side is harder.
It is and it isn't.
What
So
the heck is this answer?
it is if you don't know what to do. If you know what to do, then actually I think it's easier than the other side.
I think it's harder in terms of when I was on that side, everything is just like one step. I'm always in my center here. But when it's on this side, it feels like it's hard to really get into a center feeling. Everything's slightly extended.
Yeah, so this is how I usually will do this side. I will actually have my stance in this direction, and I actually will keep my racket here, right? So anything that comes singles line or so or inside already is easy to cross. My angle is already crossed.
Right.
If for some reason it's a very good smash and I'm late, worst case, my shot will be straight. So what happens is if I'm not making this angle and I start here, if I'm late, then I'm really late. Then it's gonna be hard to hit any
Also,
power.
if you start in a neutral position and you go outwards, you can't really swing anymore.
Yeah.
But if you start over here, you can come to the right and still swing out.
Yeah, so I'm starting at this kind of angle already pointing cross, and then if I'm a bit late, I can still hit straight.
Well, let me say one thing I noticed that you're doing that helps you achieve all of this that you're teaching is really it comes back to how you hold your rackets. A lot of people, including myself, I hold everything very flat, but you have like feels like you're in a claw position the whole time. So one is you don't want to be too loose. You don't want to be too loose, but I feel like a mistake a lot of people make, including myself, is when we get into this position, we're too tense too.
Yeah.
So this is just like you're firm, but not too tense or too loose. A straight hinge.
And if you're here, then that means you're hitting from with just this much, right? Here is actually at the whole arm.
This makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Oh wow, so easy. Oh. Oh. It's so easy to generate power.
Yeah.
Wow, this changes everything. This is a game changer, guys. Okay, I mean, that's amazing. Anything else you want to add?
Good. No, I don't, it was a good demo. I don't want to give up the demo.
Okay, all right. Man, that's crazy. Toby, guys. Toby is, there's good players and then there's good coaches. And I was saying Toby is one of those coaches that are so great at communicating what you need to learn. So really soak it all up because if you can apply these techniques, your improvements will be massive. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out Toby in the description down below and the next video over here.